Today we learn about heat transfer. Heat always moves from warmer substance to cooler substance. It never moves from cooler to warmer substance. Talking about the heat transfer, there are three modes of heat transfer: conduction, convection, radiation. All the three things we'll see in detail. Heat transfer means the basic mechanism of heat transfer is like heat will continue to move until both the substances are having same temperature. If the temperature level of the both the substances are same, then heat transfer will takes place. And if there would be a greater temperature difference between the substance, faster the heat will transfer. This is the basic mode of heat transfer. Likewise, there are three modes of heat transfer: conduction, convection, radiation. These three terminologies we are using in day to day life. We all are aware about the conduction, convection, radiation, but today I would illustrate it with example so it would be easy for you to understand. There are three types of heat transfer I told you, but I would like to illustrate with examples. If you touch a black car in the summer, heat from that car transfers to your hand. Second example I would like to give: a breeze that makes you feel cooler because the wind that transfers heat away from your body. You will feel the cold in winter because the cold air transfers into you. So these are the examples and anti-examples. In the winter, you are getting cold and you're wearing jackets so that you're not feeling cold when you will go in the winter outside in the atmosphere, because of that jacket you're feeling warmer. But somewhat if you stayed more in the ice or in the snow area, you're feeling you are getting much cold and you're feeling and exercising much cold in the winter season because that heat transfer takes place to your body. Talking about the conduction, there's a transfer of heat through a direct contact. If direct contact would be there, then it specifies the definition of conduction. And in the conduction, molecule transfer energy molecules next to them. Simply, I would like to define the conduction: the transfer of energy by actual motion of medium. In this diagram, the warm water and the cool water is given. The metal conducts heat from the cup of warmer water to the cup of cool water. So this is the best example of heat transfer. Again in the slide, when man is wearing a coat, no matter what it feels like, cold does not transfer to his body. Actually, what is really happening over here? Somewhat wearing a heavy cloth when isn't it cold outside? In previous slides, I explained you that what is the mode of heat transfer. If you wear again jacket, so that heat transfer takes place to your body. Talking about the third terminology, that is radiation. From the childhood itself, we are learning this technology that what is radiation. There are many types of radiations we have gone through: gamma radiation, ultraviolet radiations, UV radiations. Ultraviolet radiations we receive from a sun, and somewhat UV radiations are important for growth and development of human being. So heat transfer by the radiation is a transfer of heat to electromagnetic waves. If I would like to define, radiation is like heat transfer by the radiation, the transfer of heat to the electromagnetic waves. In radiation, there is no direct contact between the substance. The opposite terminology was there with the conduction, there was a direct contact, and in radiation, there was not a direct contact between the substance. This is best explained by the example of sun and earth. Heat from the sun radiates to the empty space to the earth. So in this particular slide, heat and sun is given and the terminology is well explained. In this slide, again, girls are enjoying the campfire. The heat from the campfire transfers to marshmallow, giving you a yummy, gooey treat. Direct contact between the fire and the marshmallow will ruin it. Talking about the next terminology, that is the convection. Heat transfer by the convection of the heat. The fluid like liquid gases, the movement of current. Warm fluid rise, cool down, sink, when warm again. Here, the heat transfer, that is a thermal energy heat transfer, takes place by the molecular motion of medium. Again, the example of nature is given in this. Somewhat what happened in the summer, we are feeling extremely hotter, but in the night, again we are feeling somewhat cooler. So, likewise, in this slide, as the air above the road warms up, it rises and replaced by the cooler air, forming a convection current. In this last slide, all three mechanisms are best explained: conduction, convection, radiation. This picture illustrates all three types of heat transfer, and we can easily identify what type of heat transfer takes place. Talking about the conduction, the transfer of thermal energy by actual motion of medium, there was a direct contact. Talking about the radiation, the transfer of thermal energy by electromagnetic waves, and talking about the convection, there was not a direct contact, and the transfer of thermal energy by transfer of thermal energy by molecular motion of medium. This was all about the introduction of heat transfer.